This is Indeed Talk with me, Julia Hartley-Brewer. This is the home of common sense. Let's talk to someone who always talks common sense. Helen Joyce. She's the author of Transgender Identity and the New Battle for Women's Rights. She's also Director of Advocacy at Sex Matters. Good morning to you, Helen.
Hi, Julia.
Thanks for joining us. There's two stories I want to get to, and time is tight, but I'm sure you and I can get to it. I just want to talk, first of all, about doctors resigning en masse, it seems, from the British Medical Association after their doctors' union basically came out against the caste review, which was looking into care for children who believe they're transgender. But doctors are basically saying, up with this, we will not put.
Exactly. As you say, it's a trades union. It's not one of the Royal Colleges. It's meant to be there about terms and conditions and pay and such like. And here it is popping up with this absolutely idiotic claim that it knows better than such an eminent paediatrician who did by far the world's best research on this over 4 years. And hundreds of them seem to have written an open letter, lots of them resigning, including a bunch of people who are very, very eminent former presidents of Royal Colleges, telling the BMA to back off, to stop being so ideological, to stick to its knitting and stop intruding its nose where it shouldn't be.
Well, this is it. I just don't understand anyone who is querying this. I mean, I'm all for people to have debate, but most of the criticisms of the caste review have been based on complete lies and an absolute lack of reading of what she's actually done. She's so eminent in her field. She looked at all the research. And these people, and I find it extraordinary, you get campaigners on social media, but then the fact that the British Medical Association, which has been totally ideologically taken over, like many organisations in this sort of sector, claiming that, it's wrong that kids who believe they are trans, no such thing as a trans kid, kids who believe mistakenly that they're born in the wrong body, have been told that by social media or parents or teachers, that they should have surgery and or they should have basically a hormone treatment that could damage their bodies for life. It's extraordinary that doctors who take the Hippocratic Oath should query this.
So it's what's called ideological capture. A small number of very ideological people come in and take over a much larger association. I can tell you that this happened because the LGBT working group inside the BMA, a small number of people, not particularly eminent, decided that this is the way to go. And they have to attack Hilary Cast precisely because the work that she's done is so good. It's pretty much unanswerable. So they go after her personally and cast aspersions on the work.
As is always the case. Can I also just bring you briefly, I know we haven't really got much time, but a case in Australia at the end of last week, extraordinary case where effectively a judge in Australia has ruled that you can change sex and a man can become a woman legally. That is the case. This is a case involving Roxanne Tickle, a man who identifies as a trans woman in New South Wales, basically joined an account as a social media app set up by a woman called Sal Grover, just for women, called Giggle for Girls, and basically was told, oh, well, you can't be on the website because you're a man. You're clearly a man. If you look at Roxanne Tickle, you can see quite clearly that Roxanne is a man. And this has gone all the way to court, cost thousands for the owner of that website, Sal Grover, and just lost a case in Australia. How significant is this? A judge ruling that, yes, legally a man can become a woman and have the rights to all things that real women have.
I mean, it doesn't directly influence us here in the UK because our law is different and, dare I say, somewhat better. It would be easier here to argue for what's called the single-sex exceptions under the Equality Act. What it shows us is the international direction of travel, and it shows us that as a principle, if you allow a nonsense statement into the law that men can become women and women can become men, what comes out is nonsense. Garbage in, garbage out, as computer scientists say. So quite upsetting, really. Really, there are men who aren't willing to let women have anything where men aren't allowed to go. It's petulant and it's just sexist, frankly.
Yeah, it's that simple. I mean, Roxanne Tickle said that he had been living as a woman since 2017. A birth certificate said he was now a woman, and therefore he was just as entitled to use this website, this social media page for women, as women. But again, why? Why did he feel the need to do that, and why did he bring that case? It is extraordinary. Helen Joyce, I know we'll speak to you again soon about all of these issues, because you know what? They ain't going away. You know those culture wars that we were told were all over? Still ongoing. Funny that. Helen Joyce, a Director of Advocacy at Sex Matters.